everybody. Thanks for jumping in here. I am here with Jamie Parker, big realtor out of Atlanta. He's got a great story. We're going to have a good conversation. Stick around. Here we go. Jamie, thank you very much, man, for coming on here. I appreciate it. I know you're busy running all over the place doing real estate down there in Atlanta. Is it hot down there right now? Hot and humid in Atlanta.
Not too humid, but it's definitely hot, just like I think just about everywhere else right now.
It's hot here today too. Colorado, though, it is not. I've been here 20 years. I do love it here. Gotta admit. So. From Indiana, though, born and raised, so been all over the place. But hey, it's good to have you on here, man. I appreciate your time.
No problem, my pleasure.
I know you kind of led us up a few days ago in a mastermind that we do every week. It's something we open up to all the agents. And I think just man, you just had such a great story. I'm like, I've got to talk to Jamie a little bit more. So anyway, I appreciate getting on here. So tell some of your story. You how long you been in real estate? You got in real estate about 15 years ago, right?
Yes, sir. So been in real estate for 15 years. I started out part-time until my side hustle became my main hustle. So I was a school teacher for Gwinnett and DeKalb County schools for 17 and a half years. And I actually taught orchestra. And I'm actually sitting here talking to actually own a music store as well. So I'm actually sitting in our teaching studio here in the music store.
Oh,
yes. Nice. Just sitting here talking to you there. But yeah, so I taught orchestra. Was the one who taught middle school, and we taught. It's a great age, right, from 11 to 14-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
But I had a great time. They're actually awesome. Teaching them music is so cool.
Sure.
So I had a great time doing that, and really got into real estate when I bought my second house. Yeah, bought my second house in 2005, and then I saw that the real estate agent made in one deal more than I made in 3 months. And I was like, man, there's just something wrong with this. It's just I was just, and then, long story short, I went to something at church, and at the time I was married, and they were like, husbands, if you don't make enough for your wives to stay home, you should do something else. You should consider adding something or doing something else. I mean, maybe not the best advice, but it did spur me into action. And so I got my real estate license right after my daughter was born, and did one house my first year as a part-time agent, did 4 houses. I actually still talk to that client, believe it or not. He's still in the same house. Still in the same house. But then did 4 houses my second year, and then by year 7, I did 23 houses as a part-time agent. So I was in the top part of the office for the KW office. I was at top 5, and then the previous company was top 25. And again, as a part-time agent. So I figured by the time I sold 23 houses, it's probably time to, if I could do 23 with a 40-hour a week job, what could I do if I got my 40 hours a week back?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we got into real estate. So it was just really just more of so that I could take care of my family better.
Okay.
As we move forward. So, just saw it as a better way. And I'd always done little stuff. I collected baseball cards as a kid. And so I was always looking, and my grandfather opened the first frozen food store in Boston. And he was 2 years ahead of Birdseye. So he didn't make it, but Birdseye made it. Birdseye actually came into his store as the model for what Birdseye would eventually do.
Really?
So, it's kind of like that part of DNA, just always looking for, something to, so I sold my baseball cards to buy a Nintendo. Kind of give you my parents wouldn't buy me a Nintendo. So I sold my baseball cards so I could get a Nintendo. And I still have some of those cards too. My biggest trade, Jeff. I know we're totally off real estate.
No, you're good.
My biggest trade was a Todd Van Poppel rookie card for a Jerry Rice rookie card. I still have the Jerry Rice rookie card. You're probably like, Todd Van? Exactly. You don't even know who this guy is. I remember going into the card store and trading the Todd Van Poppel rookie card for a Jerry Rice rookie card. I still have the Jerry Rice. I still have that and a few of the other nicer cards.
Yeah,
in a safe deposit box. So
some good money there. There can be.
So. Yeah, it can be. So but anyways, yeah. So that's kind of how I got into real estate. I really just wanted to take care of my family. Just
Okay.
to do it in a better way. And at that time we had a kid, and we thought it was be better for mom to be a stay-at-home mom than to let somebody else raise our kid in daycare.
Right.
And so
Right.
that means I just had to work hard.
Yep. Yep. For sure. When did you go full time? What year was it?
So 2013. So the summer of 2013 was the year I went full time. So I did,
Okay.
so in 2012, I sold 23 houses with that full time job. And so, maybe going in 2012, going into the beginning of 2013, the spring market. And I just, man, it was just like nonstop. It was 18-hour days, Jeff. And it was like you go to work, and then you have all these trends. I mean, if you're in real estate, you know how time consuming it can be.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And so just one deal is time consuming, let alone if you're doing a couple and you're working 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
So, it just got to the point where that wasn't sustainable any longer. And so I had to make a decision. And sometimes the best decisions come with leaps of faith, right?
Right. Right. No, for sure. Well, yeah. You had two full-time jobs at that point.
Yeah, I did. And so what I did is I said, okay, when I've saved enough take-home pay, like not my before tax pay, but my after tax pay, what I was actually bringing home from real estate, from teaching, and when I would have a year's worth of that in the bank, then I knew that was my signal to get out. And so I'd saved a year's worth of take-home, which honestly wasn't that much when you in the grand scheme of things. It really wasn't that much money. And actually, what I did, because I was really kind of stressed out. I mean, I was doing all that stuff, and then of course I took, had other things, had new babies and everything. So I actually took a sabbatical from the school system. So I had enough tenure to take a sabbatical, which meant I was guaranteed a position the following year. So I could take off a year without fear of not having a job the following year. Give it a try for a year, full time, see what would happen. And the day I got my letter from the county that says, "Hey, are you going to come back?" is the day I took $1 million listing in a country club where the athletes live. That house was overpriced and didn't sell, but still, I took that listing across from one of the Falcons players, and that was kind of like my son. I was like, okay, I think God wants me to continue this and not go back to doing it the other way.
Right. Right. For sure. Let me ask you this real quick, because there's going to be all kinds of agents watching this over time.
Sure.
New agents, seasoned agents, whatever. Like for you being a part-time agent and doing 23 deals in 1 year, whatever. I mean, like there's full-time agents out there that are struggling trying to figure out how to do 6 or 7 deals. I mean, so what would you say? Like what was it in you? How were you able to do that? Like what is it in you that pushed you to run that kind of business and to get that much going on? What would you say to some of those agents that are they're trying to figure out, running their own business and getting off the ground? They've been doing this for a while and they feel like they're stuck.
Right.
What would you say to some of those people?
So first of all, at the beginning, I ate, drank, and lived real estate. So like every moment that I wasn't with my kids or with them, and sometimes through a fault, I can admit I did not have a very good balance at that point.
Right.
But I was also giving the kid's mom giving up $55K a year. We went from making 6 figures of salary comfortably, being very comfortable, to all of a sudden we're going to give it up, and now I've got to make up what she wasn't doing so she can be mom, right?
Yeah.
And so, so what I would do is after the kids would go to bed, and she would typically go to bed with them, so I would just stay up and I would blog. I started blogging. I'm not saying I make gazillions of dollars with blogs, but I did get a few transactions just blogging on Active Range and stuff. I'm still, even to this day, I don't really do it anymore, but I'm still like the number 3 agent. I did enough of it way back then. I'm still number 3 in my city, for them. I'm not saying I got a couple of deals out of that, so it wasn't like a huge thing, because it did get to be like 30. It can be time consuming to write all that stuff. So I would do that. I would poke around on Facebook and try to figure out this whole social media thing. So remember, this was like 2007, 2008. Facebook was just becoming a thing, and try to, And I focused, like for me at the beginning, now that you could do this, and that's not a thing now, but for me, I really focused on the HUD houses. Why did I focus on HUD houses? Because they were zero money down and I got a 5% commission. And we were talking, these houses were 80,000, 90,000, 100,000. Some houses are like 400,000 now. But back then, you know, they were that. So I focused on those. So you're still asking the question, what could the new agents do? You know, what are today's HUD houses? What are some of the things that you could do today? So definitely take advantage of the different lead generation platforms that are out there that don't cost you any money up front. And some of them you do have to have certain experience. I mean, I'm not going to, you know, one of the ones I use now, they do require a certain amount of transactions have closed in order to be qualified. But I use homelight.com. I took 2 listings with them this past week. You know, and both of them are now under contract. Yeah, you got to give a referral fee, but it's free. I don't pay anything for it. Homelight.com. They're a national company. Okay. I pay zero money to use them. Okay. Zero money. I just have to pay a referral fee when I close. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. The other thing, using some of those bad words, but some of the big companies, lead generation companies, I actually did good with Zillow. You know, I actually did well. Actually, 1 year I closed 9 transactions off of Zillow and or online leads, you know, which, you know, out of 30 transactions or 40 transactions, and you close that. And back in those early days, getting, you know, my coach, when I was in MAPS coaching, my coach was like, nobody closes as many internet leads. And I'm not even the best follow-up. Honestly, I'm not even the best follow-up. I really don't do a great job at the follow-up. It was just, I just expected, I knew that's because I was working, because I had all the other things. I knew that's how I had to get my business. I knew I wasn't going to be able to make 10 hours a week of phone calls and do all that stuff. And so the other thing too, Jeff, is who is your tribe? Think about your tribe. And I'll be honest with you, and I were in a multi-level marketing company together. And guess what? I sold a lot of houses to those people. I'm still selling a lot of houses to those people. And I haven't been really super active in that company in a while, but I still talk to those people. Sure. And I still have people that I know from that company that I'm still selling houses to. Right. And so that's it's
part of your sphere, you know?
Yeah, it becomes part of your sphere. Then you can go on to your next step. Okay. If you're in a religious organization, I'm not saying be part of a religious organization to sell houses. I did not do that. But invariably, once people know, like, love you, and trust you, and you make friendships, invariably they know what you do. It's a pretty common conversation. Within the first minute or two you meet somebody, what are they going to ask you?
What do you do?
What do you do? Right? Right? Exactly. And so, you know, that's another. In fact, I just signed up yesterday an EXP agent I didn't even know the person, you know, but I bumped into the husband at church. Oh yeah, my wife's a real estate agent. Had lunch with her 2 days ago, and she signed up today. Never met them in my life. They actually go to a different church, but you know, so again, it's just that can be a thing for you as well. If you have kids, use your kids.
Oh heck yeah!
Use your kids.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how many soccer players' parents I've sold houses to. I have. It's usually 1 or 2 a year, you know, or every couple of years, you know, 1 or 2. You know, I don't rely on your kids for your total business, but I'm just saying, if you have kids that are involved in activities, be involved in activities, maybe even sponsor those activities. You know, get involved with the schools. I've actually talked to the faculties at the schools that the kids go to, giving away $200 worth of gift cards. I went to all the different vendors in the area, got gift cards, and gave them as a giveaway to the teachers just so I could get in front of them and just let them know, hey, I do real estate in the area. And I've sold to a couple of teachers that way. Being a teacher, that was an easy sphere because teachers hang with teachers, and teachers do business with other teachers. Every teacher has a side hustle, just about. Every teacher does something on the side to make money, unless their spouse makes a lot of money. You know, so, you know, teachers always want to support each other. So those are just a few things. I can keep going, but those are a few things that help. You just got to think about what you already do have instead of what you don't have. Right. You know, so
there's a lot of business out there just waiting for you. But don't be the secret agent. Get the word out.
I was about to say that. Don't
need
be
to
the
know
secret agent.
Yeah, they need to know that you're in real estate.
So if you're new, Jeff, and this is what I tell my new agents, and let me know what you think about this, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my new agents, all right, nobody has to know you're new.
Yeah.
So okay, so Jeff, you're gonna be my seller, right? You're gonna be this person I'm calling. You're a friend of mine, Jeff.
Okay.
And you don't know I'm in real estate.
Okay.
Okay. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, this is Jamie. How you doing, bro?
Hey, Jamie. How you been, man?
Oh man, I have been absolutely fabulous, man. I've got some amazing news for you, man. Life has really, really gotten interesting for me, man. Do you want to hear?
Okay. Yeah, heck yeah. What's going on?
Oh yeah. Well, man, I just wanted to let you know I just joined one of the most successful real estate teams in the entire metro Atlanta area. And guess what? We are taking on new clients right now. Do you know anybody who's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate the next 90 days that our team could help?
Off the top of my head, no, but possibly I could talk to my wife. That's cool. I didn't even know you were a realtor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I am hooked in, man. You should see the amount of deals that we're doing, man. We're getting all of our buyers. We're getting them closing costs, and we're getting the money off their houses, and the sellers we're selling them at like, the market average maybe 30, and we're selling them in 4 days, man. Our team, man, we are just absolutely crushing it, man. And we'd love to be able to help anybody that you know, man. Listen, I appreciate you keeping your ears open for me. Just give me a shout out if you know of anybody who's thinking about doing
For sure.
something.
No, that's
All right,
awesome.
man. All right, thanks, Jeff.
Call. Thank you. But yeah, something like that right there, just that would go a long way. And you can make, you can make a dozen of those calls in half an hour,
Yeah, exactly. It's an easy that. And then everybody who's listening, was that hard? No. Was that uncomfortable? No, because I already know Jeff.
Very simple. Yeah.
I could go back to somebody I talked with 20 years ago and still have that and do that exact same phone call. Yeah. And I haven't talked to them in 20 years. Yeah. And I could still make that same phone call.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now, real quick, so the last, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe like the last 8 years now, I mean, you went full-time 2013.
Yeah.
The last 8 years, you've averaged about 50 deals a year. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, have you had a team, or has this all just been you by yourself, just solo agent throughout that process? Or
yeah, I'm a solo agent.
Okay.
So it is me and a transaction coordinator, and I have someone who inputs my listings and kind of is a catch-all.
Okay.
Yeah, and does anything else. Like, for example, today we have a new listing that went live at the end of the day yesterday, or sometime yesterday. I was like, okay, I want you to, Amanda, can you go reverse prospect everybody who's looking at this listing and let all these agents who have a buyer who says this listing qualifies, matches their criteria. Can you let them know that we've just gone back on the market at 525? Because there was another agent that didn't sell it. This is a listing I'm taking over that somebody else failed to sell.
Okay.
So, so I'll use things like that. I do have a group that I have somebody that works with a bunch of Icon agents just doing their like marketing and KV core management and stuff to kind of help with that. So I do have somebody I pay each month because here's the thing, I need to be out there talking to people, and I'm a single dad, so I need to really be dad first above everything. So I need to be able to diversify out a little bit to make sure I have enough time to be a great dad and have enough time to also be there for my clients as well.
Right.
That's my focus. All the other stuff I can hire people to do. Got to focus on the one thing that's most important, right? And if you're a new agent, the one thing that is most important is talking to at least 10 people every day. If you're not doing that, you're not going to sell any real estate.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Get those conversations going. How many kids do you have now, Jamie?
I have 2 kids, 16 and 14.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, because I know, just again, from talking the other day, you've got through the last few years here, you've hit some pretty big challenges and obstacles. Can you go into some of that? Do you mind just sharing about some of that? Because I think it's just been very inspiring. I mean, I was inspired the other day when you were leading that mastermind for us, just hearing your story. I'm like, because a lot of people here's where we cave and we crash, whatever. Obviously, you've got through it and you've thrived through it, and you're doing well, as a result of it. Can you talk a little bit about some of what you've been through?
Sure. So, we all know 2020 was kind of a rough year, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. Pretty much everybody had a crazy year in 2020. So what if I told you I did my highest transaction count in 2020?
Okay.
You'd be like, okay, all right. Well, and you may have heard that a lot of agents who said they had some of their best year in 2020. I mean, I've heard. I'm probably not the only one.
Sure.
But so I hit 62 deals in 2020. Right.
Wow.
62. Now that was about 17.2 million in production. Okay, as a solo agent. Now, I don't know. When I was with that other company, the only people that did 17.2 million had teams.
Right.
Like, I think our top team in the office did like 25 million or 30 million. That was a team. So, there was just saying, so as a solo, not many solo agents do that much.
Right.
And so, but let me tell you what happened. So, in the span of 3 to 4 months, my life totally turned upside down. Okay, so the first thing, I got married real young. I know I don't look old, but I got married pretty young. Okay. And I was married for 25 years.
Wow.
And she decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. Didn't cheat on her. Nothing like that happened. She just one day just said, I don't want to be married anymore.
Wow.
And so right after about 3 weeks after our 25th anniversary, she said she didn't want to be married anymore. So at the beginning of July, she told me that. We broke it to the kids, and then everything in Georgia, divorce is only 30 days. Most other states, we have probably one of the most lenient states. Thank goodness for that, because that would have been much worse had we had to wait forever.
Yeah.
So within 30 days, it was finished. So literally, she told me the beginning of July, mid August, we were done. Everything was finalized. Wow. Judge signed off on everything. Not contested. Fortunately, it wasn't contested. We just did everything without lawyers or attorneys or anything. We just had an attorney draw everything up. But anyways, so that happened. All right. So that's kind of bad. Pretty bad. It's everything you've known and just kind of goes out the window. And I have custody of the kids. So I have full custody of the kids. I get them Monday through Friday. She just gets them on the weekends. And then even some weekends I still have them, depending on what their activities are. And then, I told you I owned a music store. We bought the music store in March of 2020. Great timing, right? we bought it and then had to shut it down.
Shut down. Oh my goodness.
Right. So, but I bought a store that has residual income, Jeff. We get rental instruments. So people were renting, they still have their violins, violas, cellos, and basses, no matter what was going on in the economy, right? So at least we were able to pay the bills, right? With that. Okay. So, but we had a manager. And that manager just wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. So I had to fire him. And the manager happened to be a family friend that we had been 27. I'd been doing Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving with them for 27 years. So not only did I lose my wife, then when I fired their son, I lost basically the family that my kids called them mom and pop and Mimi and Papa. They were grandparents and cousins, and we haven't talked since. So I mean, he wasn't doing his job. I don't know what else we're going to do. It's business. Yeah. So then on one of my rental properties, we had a huge insurance claim. I had to replace the sewer line, had to redo the kitchen, had to put all new pipes in the house, all that stuff. Then 2 weeks after the divorce, I was showing properties and got hit by a Suburban. I mean, it was an Escalade. I got hit by a Cadillac Escalade. $17,000 worth of damage to my car. I walked away without a scratch. Wow. Just walked out of the car.
Car was totaled, I'm sure. Was it?
No, it actually wasn't, because
it wasn't totaled.
I have a Lincoln, so it was worth more than that.
But, okay, all right.
But
no, I don't know what. This 2 weeks after the divorce.
Yeah, right after 2 weeks after the divorce. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Which I found out since then, that's not uncommon to stuff like that happen right after a big major life event. I found that out through counseling later on.
Wow.
And then at the beginning of September, at the end of August, beginning of September, my dad got COVID and he died in the middle of October. Oh, wow. And then right after that happened, I sold my married house. So I had to sell the married house. I was the real estate agent, and I was the owner, and I had to move, and I didn't get a whole lot of help, with getting rid of all this stuff. I had an estate person who that was one of my clients, as an estate planner. She lent me all of her staff. We didn't do an estate sale, but she at least gave me her staff and just paid them a little bit of money. They organized my entire house. I got rid of everything in the house. And then I had to buy my new house. So then I was under contract to buy my new house, where my kids are at now. So all of that happened within a 3 to 4 month period. And what if I told you the fourth quarter was like one of my best quarters in real estate ever?
Wow.
And I was like, well, how does that happen?
Exactly.
Well,
That was
here's
my
the
next
thing.
question.
When
So
all this
talk
stuff is
about that.
happening, you have to inspect what you expect, right? When all this stuff is swirling around you, and maybe and some this may sound a little bit bad, maybe because I have heard, I'll put it this way, I've heard guys can do a little or heck compartmentalize a little bit easier, and
Okay.
I do pretty good at compartmentalizing where I can just focus. Okay, all this is happening over here, but wait, I've got this right in front of me right now that I've got to handle this right now,
Mhm.
and I've got to. And this is what. So I realized I had to be a great dad, and I had to get my kids transitioned, and I had to do all these things. So did I have time to make phone calls? Did I have time to work my database? Did I have not really? And it gave me a great appreciation from my clients. I was like, oh
Right.
my gosh, how do you do this? Like, wait a minute, they're working and they have jobs and they have kids and they're trying to buy a house and they're trying to sell a house. And I was like, man, because it was like there were some days that's all I could do was handle my own stuff,
Right.
let alone between what the loan officers wanted and all this other. I was like, oh my goodness, I mean, not that I hadn't bought houses before. I had rental properties and other stuff, but now you're just doing, you're doing everything. So one, it gave me a great appreciation, and two, EXP was a huge difference in during that time. I cannot tell you. I still regularly get EXP referrals from all over the country. So I do a lot of EXP referral business from other agents because Atlanta is. I've heard. I don't know. Don't quote me on this by any stretch. I've heard we are the #1 big city destination in the U.S. right now for people moving. Yeah,
Really?
because we're still affordable. Like
Mhm.
average price 367, 368 across the metro area.
Sure.
Now, obviously, we have areas that are much more expensive than that, and
Right.
some areas are less expensive. But for the most part, you can still get an affordable house. You can still buy a house, and even at these interest rates, you still get a house at $2,200 a month on the mortgage, right? Even with
Right.
these current rates. So so we would I was getting all these referrals from other EXP agents from all over the country. Um, and I give out referrals too. I don't just take them; I give them out. So,
Sure.
that's kind of what got me through that. EXP was the difference. In 7 years at the other company, I got one referral, and now I do probably one or two every month, just about.
Yeah.
Which makes my business so much better. And especially in this season of my life, where I'm still single dad.
Mhm.
It gives me I can be with my kids. I can do what I need to do for my kids because I don't have to spend 12 hours a day on the phone trying to find the business. I have
Yeah.
it either coming in through my database, through past clients, or through EXP referrals that are coming in from around the country. And the great thing about this network, Jeff, the network that we have created, that EXP, is like some of these referrals come because I went to some of these events.
Yeah.
It's not even because it's on the Facebook page. Yeah, some of that does help, but a lot of these referral partners come from showing up to the different events that I've been at. And so
Sure.
you go have lunch with somebody, you have breakfast with an agent, and I could tell you there's another agent in Colorado. His whole team sends me referrals all the time. I
Right.
mean, everything that comes into Atlanta, I get pinged on Workplace. I get a text. WP, WP, WP,
Yeah.
WP. His whole team looks for me. Anything
That's
that shows up in the state of Georgia. Yeah, and
yeah.
that was all just from having lunch with somebody, like a 30-minute lunch.
It is an
So
amazing thing about this. I mean, I've been here for how long have you been at EXP? I've been here 4 years. How long have you been
I've
here?
been about 4.5 years. Yeah.
4.5. Yeah. So I joined February 2018. So I guess about
Yeah,
that.
I was January of 2018, and you know
Okay.
what? I said no the first time, so I actually
Mhm.
got asked September of 17,
Okay.
and I said no. I bleed red and black. I'm stop bothering me. I'm not interested.
Yeah,
And
leave me
then
alone.
and then and then another friend of mine from the same group kind of asked me back in December. He like begged me to watch a video. He said, "Dude, we've been friends for a long time. Please, 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 just watch this. Just trust me." And then he
Yeah.
told me Rob and Kim were going in. I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm done. You should have just led with that. Just said Rob and Kim are in, and I just would have said, give me the sign up form, right?"
Yeah. Robin Kim Campbell, right?
Yes, yeah, former #1 Remax brokers in the world. So when I found out they were coming to EXP, I was like, "That's they know something I don't know."
Yeah.
And I know that everything they touch turns to gold. So I just
Well, and it's funny
follow
because
what
I
they
mean
do.
that's one of the things. I mean, you think about that again because I've known Robin Kim for a long time as well, and you said it right there. I want to make sure people heard that. #1 Remax broker owners in the
Broker
world.
owners in the entire world. They owned 15 offices in and around Tennessee. They had, I think at their peak, they had almost 500 agents.
Yeah,
Give or
I've
take.
heard it. I know it's at
It's
one
a
point I
lot.
think I had heard like 800. I don't, but
Maybe
again,
so,
I don't.
maybe so. But
But
it
a
was a
lot of agents,
billion, a
yeah,
billion dollars in sales in
wow,
2007, 2008.
right.
So
And they're now over here at EXP. I mean, and
yes,
it's like every week here comes another story like that. Like
yeah,
some big agent, some big team, some big broker owner, whatever. You had Chuck Fazio, like all these people that. And
yeah.
again,
We
so
got Kevin Harrington now. Kevin Harrington from Shark
yeah,
Tank, guys. I mean,
Shark Tank,
seriously. I mean,
totally.
if a billionaire is coming over to us, that should be a pretty good clue.
Yeah. Well, and
You
one of
know,
the things, just to share this, like we do a lunch here in Colorado Springs every couple of weeks, and we're showing agents EXP all the time. And one of the things that, I get asked this question sometimes. And again, it's just like, oh, are you there?
yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Your camera. There we go. So, but no, I get asked this question sometimes. Like, it's almost like there's like, okay, is there a catch here? Like, it just like, wait a minute, this sounds almost too good to be true. Like, is there like, and here's what my answer, like, I was the 13th agent here in town to join. Nobody heard of this thing. About
Right.
5,000 agents in the whole company when I joined, somewhere in that neighborhood, But well, here we are now with 83,000 plus, the biggest and best agents. Like none of these people would be here. Like the due diligence has been done. You got to make sure it's right for you. Do what you need to do. But as far as skepticism, as far as wondering if it's legit, is this for real? All of those questions, that's done. Like that part is done, Like none of these people would be here if it wasn't for real. If they thought it was going to hurt their business in any way at all, we'd have been gone a long time ago. We wouldn't be on the NASDAQ if it was, whatever, something going on with the company that shouldn't be going on with the company. I mean, there's so many things about it. Like I'm like, if it's good enough for Rob and Kim, number one Remax in the world, brokers, if it's good enough for them, like, is it good enough for me? Yeah, probably so. So just I at least tell people, like, don't be afraid to look. It might, you don't have to move over here, but just at least get the information.
Right. Just, so what I tell people, Jeff, is knowledge is power. You don't know what you don't know, right? So at least find out. Don't go, I heard so-and-so and I heard so-and-so. Well, does that so-and-so sell $1 billion in a year? Does that, I mean, seriously, actually, we call it, be a Berean. Just do your due diligence, study it.
Yeah.
Go look, go find out. The great thing now at this point, there's so much information, even EXP corporate side. You could go to joinexprealty.com and you could just see, there's a whole slideshow presentation. You can actually find out everything. Everything's right there. Everything is right there out in front of you. And there's so many people like yourself, Jeff, who have great websites and great things that have a lot of information that people can just find out and they can study for themselves. And, they can make that decision themselves. But here's the thing. You never know how life is going to change if you don't step out on faith. I was doing fine at the Red and Black company. Yeah, I was doing fine. I was selling, my best year, there was 9 million in sales. So I was selling $6, $8, $9 million a year pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. Why would I want to change? I was making multiple six figures regularly. Right. Why would I want to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right.
Right.
Why would I want to fix something that's not broken? I mean, that's good money, right?
Yeah.
But, selling $17 million a year, that's really good money. Doing it a couple of years in a row, that's really, really good money. And so,
well, I mean, and then you being an icon agent, you mentioned that earlier. For those who don't know, like those are the big agents at EXP, like the biggest agents typically doing like 25, 30 deals plus a year. Those are the icon agents, and there's rewards for icon agents. For that production.
Yeah.
Be sure about that real quick, just for those who don't know what an icon agent.
So,
benefit of that.
Basically, I'll take a snippet from a presentation, but basically, there's 5 different ways that you can earn stock in EXP. And so what makes EXP unique versus the other major players in the market, the other big brands that you may hear, is number one is that when you sell your first house with EXP, you get stock. So the company now says, thank you very much. You're an agent owner. Congratulations. Number 2, when you bring in your buddy to EXP and they sell their first house, then you're both having a party because you both get stock. Okay. Number 3, when you cap, so, it's about 2.66 million in sales and you get to keep 100% of your commissions after that. The company says, thank you very much. Here's more stock. Now at the other company that I was at, you know what you got for capping? A hat that said capper, a ball cap that said capper. It's cute. It's cute.
It's cute.
But
okay.
yeah, but that's all I'll say. It's cute. And
Right.
I don't have it anymore. It doesn't mean anything, right? It's cute
Yeah,
though.
it's a garage sale.
Yeah. So then I know. Then you can use 5% of your commissions to buy the stock at a 10% discount. Now, guys, I always joke, like, you should stop me right there, and whoever sent you on this video, you should say, okay, sign me up. Like,
Yeah.
we may not be the sharpest tools in the shed, but I can tell you what, I'm going to make an automatic 10% on a 5% investment. Ask any investor around the world, would they do that? The answer would be yes. They will do that.
It's a no-brainer.
So I know it's a no-brainer. Then the fifth way is when you do 20 transactions beyond the cap. Then you become an icon agent and you get your whole cap back in stock. Now, guys, in 4.5 years of doing this and being in high production, I cannot tell you this has changed my family forever. Like, making the commissions is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. Making the commissions is great. Bringing on agents is great too. It provides that great revenue share. And that's fun and all that kind of stuff. But what that has done, especially when you realize when it goes up $1, what that really does for you.
Yeah.
Seriously, when it goes up $1, Jeff and I may make more than some people make in a year when it goes up $1.
Yeah.
And I'm just
I love getting in there and checking the numbers every day.
Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of fun. You don't want to get obsessed with that, but I mean, just because the market goes up and down and fluctuates.
Yeah.
But when it goes down, it's great because I'm still closing houses.
I'm buying more stock.
Right. So when it goes down, I'm just like,
all the stocks are down.
Yeah,
I've been buying it.
Yeah, I'm just getting, but that 5% is going much further than it did when the stock was up, right? So what you're doing is you're dollar cost averaging with every real estate transaction you're doing. And ask any financial planner, what is your plan to have ultimate wealth and ultimate retirement? It's the dollar cost average. If you're not investing in flipping houses and real estate and all the other stuff, if you're in the stock market, dollar cost averaging is the most effective way, I believe most financial planners would say, to hit your goals. And so that's every transaction. I'm dollar cost averaging and Jeff is dollar cost averaging because we're getting a little bit of EXP stock with every house that we sell. So we're preparing for our family's future with every single house that we're selling.
For sure. And and honestly, I tell people all the time, like, look, I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. I mean, it's stock, it can do anything, whatever. But it's just we're getting paid in multiple ways for what we were going to be doing anyway.
Right, exactly.
Why not do that? I'm making more money than I've ever made in this business. I've been doing it for 20 years now. And again, it's just, if I wanted to sell that, I could. If I want to roll it into the things, I can. If I want to trade it out, whatever. It's like, it's a nice bonus. I've shared this before. I was with an agent here. This has been several months back. And, she was a RE/MAX agent. And she said, well, what happens if the stock goes to $1? I said, well, then I guess I'm a RE/MAX agent. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, well, how much are they giving you? I said,
right.
Like, again, I'm not down on that. Nobody's ever done it before. Now, several other companies are starting to do stock bonuses and stuff. And I get it, whatever. They're trying to compete. They're trying to catch up to some of what we're doing, which, that's awesome. I mean, whatever. Imitation's the most sincere form of flattery or whatever.
Right, exactly.
The phrase is, whatever. But no, it's just a nice bonus to be added in on the side. I know people that have, Kathy Carter paid off a rental property with her stock. My buddy Aaron, he was the first one I showed this to. He paid off his house, his personal residence with the stock. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with that. It's there if you need it. And I think that's the thing I want to end it with, Jamie, is I've got this thing going across the bottom because I say this all the time. Life happens. It happens to everybody, whatever. And none of us are ready. Most of us just aren't ready for it. When it happens, we're not ready. You weren't driving the car that day planning on having $17,000 in damage. Like, that came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? What your wife telling you, she doesn't want to be married anymore. I mean, which, I'm so sorry that happens. It's got to be hard. 25 years, my goodness. But again, like life, like things come out of nowhere. I've shared it on here many times. 7 years ago for me, prostate cancer. It's like life happens. It happens, and most people aren't ready for it. Especially realtors. We're 2 or 3 months away from being out of the business. Whatever, because we're living deal to deal, check to check. That's just how it is for most agents. Everybody's in panic mode. The market shift. It's like, relax. We're going back to a pre-pandemic market. That's kind of where we're going right now. and it's all good. Like it just calm down, everybody, be smart, but you gotta be smart, but diversify your income. Again, don't just put it all in that one basket, that next closing. You got to be ready, for when life happens, not if, but when, because it will. Hopefully not health, hopefully not death, divorce, all the different things that are out there, but life is going to happen to just everybody who listens to this. And, I'd much rather have that backup plan and not need it than need it. So anyway, and this is one way to get it for sure. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine. Without question, best business decision I've ever made is making the move over here, So anyway, anything you want to wrap us up with? I really appreciate your time. It's just great hearing your story. I'm glad you're doing well. Sorry to hear about your dad, that had to be challenging, of course. But, we're all getting through these things. So are you doing well with the market shift? You're not...
Yeah, I'm still having a great summer and still seeing people wanting to move and wanting to do things. And, here's the thing. At the end of the day, guys, people still need to move. I have one family that's been here for 6 months and is already moving back to Texas. 6 months. Life happens, right? Life happens. And they're moving back, and we just got their house under contract. So, I mean, it's just, you just do what you do the things that need to get done. And you have to have the confidence that people will always need a place to live. People lose jobs, people lose loved ones, people get pregnant and have to move closer to family. I mean, there's always a reason somebody's moving. And so regardless whether, guess what? When the rates were 8%, Jeff, guess what? People were buying houses.
Yeah.
In the early 80s, when rates were 18%, guess what? People were buying houses.
Yep, exactly.
Back in the day when you had to put a lot of money down, even more money down, people were still buying houses. So guess what they're still going to do no matter what happens, is that people need a place to live. So just don't listen to don't listen to the news. Don't listen to, because it's very easy to do that. And unfortunately, if someone has phones, automatically pops up on your iPhone on the left, right? The latest kind of snippets of, don't listen to what everything else is happening, because, they're almost, I think it could almost create something that's not actually really real by getting people scared. And so people still need to move, and people still need to buy houses. They're retiring from their jobs. They're downsizing. They're upsizing. They're doing all sorts of things. So, just be confident that you are valuable. Just remember, you are valuable no matter what's happening in your market, because those who don't think agents are valuable just got fined $67 million by the Federal Trade Commission, one of those big companies, right? And then another one of those big companies was losing $133 million a month because they thought they could do it better than we can. And so real estate is still a very personal decision. And so it's still a relationship-based business. But above all, you can't automate the business as much as some of these big companies have tried. So keep your confidence and inspect what you expect each day, and you're going to be fine. Expect great things to happen, and guess what? They will. If you don't, well, guess what? The market's terrible. I guess you just sabotage your business, right?
Right. Definitely. So good deal. Well, good stuff, Jamie. I really appreciate your time. Congratulations, seriously, on all your success. You're doing some great things. Keep going. I will see you. I'll see you soon. Are you going to build? Are you going to be are you going to Dallas for that? Are you going to the convention in Vegas?
I'll be in the convention in Vegas.
In Vegas, okay.
I will be there. Then I'm going to another personal development that Kathy Carter turned me on to. So I'll be going. I think I'm going to do that at the end of September.
Okay.
Go to that right before EXPCon.
Very cool. Well, and one of the keys, I think, is you're always working on yourself.
That is huge.
Work on yourself. It helps. So much we get what we think we're going to get, and it's all right up here between this 6 feet space up here can destroy us or take us to all kinds of places if we let it. So anyway, very cool. Well, guys, if you're a realtor and you know Jamie and you're seeing this with another company, seriously, reach out to Jamie. You owe it to yourself, your family, your friends, everybody, just to at least see what EXP is doing. Get a hold of Jamie. Let him show you, what it is. It may be for you, may not. But at least make an informed decision, not just what you're hearing out here. Whatever, find him, find me. Reach out to us. Whenever you have questions or comments, you can put them in the section down below here. One of us will get back to you for sure to get those answered. But we appreciate your time. You can hit the like button, the subscribe button, all that stuff on YouTube. You know what to do. But we're doing a lot of these and getting a lot of value out of this. So, guys, have a great rest of your week. Jamie, thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Take care, everybody. See ya.